A couple of years ago, we brought together almost 100 women who were diverse in age and life stage and background, and we split them into groups of 4 and asked them to answer this question by way of getting to know one another. Can you describe a time in your life when you wish that Jewish community had shown up better for you? Which is a great question to answer and think about for yourself as well. But to a T, in every single group of 4, there was at least one woman who answered, when I was struggling to have a child. It was shocking to see the statistics that we talk about all the time literally come to life.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. You, not only do you hear those whispers of your friends and your neighbors as you walk down the street because no one knows what to say to you, but everyone else is having their babies and you feel left behind. I don't think so many things have shifted in the last 5 or so years. I mean, the statistics are the same. 1 in 8 couples experience infertility. About 1 in every 4 pregnancies end in a loss. But instead, now we seem to be in this space where we're comfortable talking about difficult things.
Because the conversation is not had, it automatically stigmatizes it. And it's hard to be the one to say, I need help, I need support, I'm struggling with something that 7 out of 8 people have so naturally. I'm different, I'm other. And here you are, the rest of the world, having exactly what I want and can't have. How do I turn to you and say I need that support?
Us as supporters, what we need to do is that we want to acknowledge the loss so that she could feel safe, so that this family, this couple, the children could feel safe to handle all their stormy emotions. Don't forget your friends' losses. Remember them on the due date. Remember them on the anniversary of the loss. Acknowledge it, remember it for many, many years to come. Because if you remember it too, then you honor my child and proclaim that this must have been important.
Thank you for reminding me how to be a better friend. How might you suggest someone broach the topic if they think that someone is struggling?
I think that the reason you do want to ask someone, and this is just important that you have the intention, am I prepared to listen and support them? Because that's the only reason to ask. It's the only reason to be involved.
You would be surprised with how many people actually want to help you, but honestly just don't know how. And I think it was also key for me to understand I actually needed different things from different people at different times throughout the journey. It's really hard during high holidays, Chagim, when you're mentioning all these new babies born. Create a new tradition, create a prayer, acknowledge people, recognize the importance that perhaps people are struggling.
So my message to you tonight is that no matter where you're at and how you're feeling, hold on to the hope. And it's so appropriate that this summit is on the same week of the holiday of Purim, because to me, Purim is the festival of hope. There was bleak, dark sadness that turned into light.
I can tell you what infertility, what isn't the cause of infertility. You are not the cause of infertility. It's not something you did. Our matriarchs, our moms, they lived this journey. They were awesome women. So I believe they're in our audience. I believe the people I am looking at are the Sarah, the Rivka, the Rachel, and the Leahs of today. God is really the one that can help you conceive. So that's just my closing message to, yes, we do everything medically, and then we turn to Him and say, make it happen for us.
We're so excited to be launching, it's been a vision of mine for 34 years almost, a virtual memorial garden.
Wow.
We're going from a comfort with the use of technology to welcome everyone to join in this garden.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful.
We welcome you. We welcome you to remember. Thank you for creating this new ritual for families who are going through this journey.
How can you share your joy while still acknowledging someone else's struggle?
I really believe that you can't go wrong with starting the conversation in a text or an email. And that way you can leave the space for your loved one or friend to digest the news and react privately on their terms. It would be very sensitive and appropriate to start off by letting them know how much you think about them and you care for them. And all that being said, you absolutely want to share your joy with them. And yes, there is absolutely room in my heart to be joyous for them, as well as feeling my sad feelings from my struggle. There's always room for both. The ultimate comfort for your friend struggling is to give them the choice of whether or not they want to participate.
If we value families, we literally should be putting our money where our mouth is.
Someone in this group said at one point, many of us are parents because we can afford it. And that struck such a chord with me. There's scholarship for Hebrew school, there's scholarship for day school, there's scholarship for everything, but rarely do we find scholarship for fertility. That's insane to me that it could cost more to bring a child into this world than it can to pay for your house for a year. Cost of living is different everywhere, but the cost of infertility stays the same.
I believe the first step is really for everyone, both loved ones and communal leaders, to do exactly what you're doing right now. To strive to learn more about the various ways in which fertility journeys can impact people's lives. But ultimately, listening is by far the best form of speech when you're looking to support someone on this journey. Listening with openness and listening without judgment and listening without the need to offer advice or to make the response about something that you learned, that you know, or that you believe. To just listen.
Now we get to have a little bit more of an intimate conversation with our speakers. We're going to move into breakout rooms together.
When the head comes out of the sand or the diagnosis is made, what do you wish that that person understood?
I think the one piece of advice I wish someone had shared with me is that I won't get the support, and we won't get the support unless we know to ask for it.
Recognize the help that you need and look for the helpers.
The support is a critical piece of this experience. That you might not think you need the support, but when you finally access it, there's a certain breath of fresh air, of reason, of like wisdom, of shared space that you didn't even know you were missing until you're sitting in that space together. So thank you so much.
Don't do this journey alone. Reach out to someone who's walked this journey. Let them hold you. Don't let infertility define you. It's not who you are. It's just something you're living.
No one really knows what you're going through other than yourself. It doesn't matter what anyone else has been through. We have no idea what you're going through. But there's one thing that I do know. I know that I'm here for you. I know that you are not alone. Tonight, there are 11 organizations coming together. That's proof that you are not alone. There were over 1,500 people who signed up to this summit. That is proof that you are not alone. And that is my message. You are not alone.
There's so many resources out there, and it's scary to reach out. It is. I know personally, it's scary to make that leap. But once you do, you will feel so supported.
Not only are you not alone, but Jewish law is on your side.
To remember that you're not defined by your grief. There is no stigma. You've done nothing wrong. And you are now part of a club that we always say you didn't want to join, but you're a lifetime member. So we're here to support you forever.
And the last thing I'll say is I hope in moments of pain, despair, fear, grief, you can remember these moments of feeling that group hug, that comfort, that warmth. Because tonight, I think we did the miraculous thing of undoing aloneness.
There's no timeline. It's going to take time, and give yourself that time and space to understand that this whole process is really part of it. There's no way to go out. You need to go through it, but it's part of the process of taking a step forward. And I get this question of what should I do? What should I say? Just be there and hold her hand because you really care, and that's what she really needs.
But please don't hesitate to push your doctor, your family, your friends to figure out, what your best option for treatment and for your mental health can be.
Know your boundaries and consider what your endpoint is. So by boundaries, I mean It could be how much time you think you're willing to spend, how much money you want to spend, what's the amount of emotional energy you want to put into this, knowing your boundaries and your endpoint so you can sustain a meaningful life during and after the infertility experience regardless.
And those moments where you're struggling, that's okay. And there needs to be space for you to do that, whether that's with another person or alone, whether that's through meditation, through prayer, through yoga, through whatever it is that helps you express and make space for and validate those emotions.
It can also be something where creating space is about honoring the experience of the pain of others in the room. It's quiet, it can be mindful, it's present, it's important. And so I think that that's really what has been created in this breakout room and of course in the conference and the summit this evening.
What we are doing right now, we're asking everybody as we close, we are asking you, we just put this notification in the chat. There's this Menti question of, in 1 to 2 words, tell us, how has this gathering made you feel? And you will start to see this. The more a word is referenced, the more someone says they feel supported, then that word is larger. As a result of this program, and with the extensive resource list that we're sending you, you will be better armed to envelope people with this giant warm hug instead of shunning them or making them feel other. Because we as a community, we can do better when we work together. This is just the beginning of these kinds of conversations, and I can't wait to have more of them with all of you. Good night, everybody.